Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to mix any song with any drumline video of your liking. To do that, all you need to do is get a song off of iTunes or just wherever you get your songs from. And then to get the drumline videos, as you might know, I don't record my own videos, I just kind of commandeer them from other videos off YouTube. And you just have to be wary that they might get deleted because the video owner might not like that you made a mix of their thing, or maybe it's just a company where they're really strict when it comes to copyrights, so you just have to be cautious of that, and then be sure to, the least you can do is mention their video and give them a shout out and everything, because they made a video, you didn't, but it's just, I like to make it because it's fun. But I'm going on a tangent now, so yeah, so if you want to get a video off YouTube, just get whatever link of the video you want and then send it over to, if you just type in YouTube to MP4 on Google or Bing, I use Bing, you can go ahead and get that download for the video there. And so for software, I use Reaper, which is only $60 at one-time payment, which is a really good deal if you're looking for an affordable audio workstation. It's definitely the best for your buck. It does everything that you need it to do. And then some, so highly recommend Reaper. And now we're going to go into Reaper. I'm going to show you the whole process. So I'm going to grab my Drumline video, plop that bad boy right there, and then we are going to grab a song. And this song is Bumpin'. So I low-key already cheated and know the tempo of both songs, but we're going to just pretend like we don't. So let's just say, let me check something really fast actually. Cool. So let's pretend that we start off at 100 beats per minute. Okay. So let's see if these songs, whoa, that was cool. So we need to first figure out what the tempos of each songs are. So to do that, we start off by taking a downbeat of each song. So let's just start with the song. Let's go to the chorus just because it's easier to find the downbeat. Right there. So let's zoom in on that. Just hit the plus button. So let's get a little more closer just to get more exact. Cool. So you can slice that by hitting the S button and then go ahead and delete the first part for now. And then, so right now we have the downbeat of the first song. Cool. So now we need to see if the downbeat is lining up with each measure. So let's find out. 2, 3, 4, 2. So it looks like it's lining up right here. 2, 3, 4. So it looks like it's a little behind. So if we wanted it to catch up to 2, we need to increase the tempo. So let's increase it from 100 to 140 beats per minute. And bam, looks like it overshot it. Let's listen to find out. 2, 3, 4, 1. So it looks like it stopped right here. So looks like we need to decrease the tempo to have it go to measure 2. So let's bring it down to 120 beats per minute. That might, let's see how that turns out. Might be good. 2, 3, 4, 1. Oh, perfect. Looks like it lines right up. How about that? What a coincidence. So to see how accurate this tempo is, the farther down you go and it lines up, the more accurate it is. So it looks like, let's go to 9. Looks like it's lined up pretty well. 2, 3, 4, 1. Cool, so that's lined up. And the reason why you want to go more farther out to see if it's lined up is for each measure that it's not lined up, it's going to increase that much space. So you will really know if it's lined up or not. So it looks like it's pretty much, it's about, that's 120 beats per minute because it's still lining up on that, the downbeat of each measure. Alright, so let's go ahead and find the Blue Devils tempo. Let's find their downbeat. Vroom vroom. Cool. I think that actually starts a little more in. Yep. So let's just S to cut and just get rid of all that extra crap. So let's zoom in. And for this one, that little roll is it starts before the downbeat, so it's gonna cut that part out for now. We're gonna start right there, so we'll cut out, oop, wrong button, that was cool. Cut that out. Cool. Let's bring that to the beginning. Let's see if it lines up. And it does. As you can see, it's pretty well lined up. Now, it tends to fluctuate throughout, and we're going to cover that later, but for the most part, I think the intended tempo is 120 beats per minute. And if the drumline's playing to a metronome, that definitely helps out because they're going to stay with that tempo, but whenever drumlines don't play to a metronome, they're going to fluctuate a little bit, so that means you're going to have to do a little more editing. So let's see how this all lines up. Actually, before we do that, let's talk about if they didn't have the same tempo. So let's say Blue Devils was 140 beats per minute, and this song, Woes, well, it's called Woes, Woes versus Woes. Let's say that was 120 beats per minute. So let's say we just finished editing. It's like, okay, it's 140 beats per minute. So what you're gonna want to do is you want to cut this out so you can paste it later, but don't paste it yet. Basically, you want to cut it out so that way the tempo of that song isn't affected. Because what you're gonna do is hit Alt-Enter, and you're going to want to change time base for items, envelopes, markers. You want to change from time to beats, positions, length, and rate. And so what that does is when I increase this tempo here, it's going to increase the tempo of the song as well instead of just changing the tempo, the time marks. So let's say this is 140 and we wanted to increase it to 250. So it's going to make the song 250 as well. As you can see, it makes the rate more, makes it go faster. So it's super fast. So let's bring it back down to 140, the tempo we're pretending that it is. And so we wanted to bring this to match 120. So all we would do is bring this to 120, bam, this is now 120 beats per minute. You can see the rate is 0.857. That means it's slowed down, and that means it'll now match this song's tempo, which is 120. So now they would both be 120 beats per minute. And then if you wanted to get them back to the tempo of the drum line, you would bring it back to 140 here. And now you can see this rate is normal and this rate is increased. So that way the drum lines doesn't look funky, it doesn't look like they're playing super fast or super slow, but the song will be sped up a little bit. Cool. And so for some songs, they really don't work with other drum lines just because if a drum line's playing 120 beats per minute and a song is 187, there's no really easy way of mixing that together because something's going to sound really fast or really slow, which could be a good thing, but usually not so much when it's that different. But let's go ahead and fix these because they are both at 120 beats per minute. So let's go 120. Let's go Alt-Enter and fix this back to time. And let's change this rate. You just double click on here and then go to playback rate, back to 1. So now it's normal speed. And let's give this bad boy a listen. Oops, let's turn this up a little bit. Alright, looks like it was from 1 to 5, it was pretty much on tempo, but you can notice that it got a little off at 5, and that's because I don't believe they're playing to a metronome here. That or their tempo, instead of being 120, it might be like 121. And if that's the case, you can just do what we just talked about and make that small 1 beat per minute adjustment and fix it. But if not, then you can just go ahead and make little cuts and edits, which is what we're going to do. So as you can see, the downbeat for the song is like right. It's close, but I think I need to scoot it up a little bit. And then we can just drag this out so you don't really even notice that I made that cut. Cool. And then as you can see, like here, it definitely got off. Because this is the downbeat and this is the drumline downbeat. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the downbeat right here. We're going to drag it here. And instead of increasing this out, because that might be a bigger gap, you might actually hear that in the music, we're just going to take this bad boy and we're going to double click on it, and we're going to decrease the playback rate to stretch it out a little bit and have it come into there instead. So let's say wrong button. We're going to say it's going to be about 0.99, and then just drag that out and see how that lines up. Cool, so that lines up for the most part. You can even see it starts to get off a little here. Yeah, so you can see it drags a little bit. This one, it's a little behind. So basically all you have to do is you probably want to decrease this guy's tempo to drag it out. And basically it's just kind of repetitive from there. So it's just making cuts, adjusting tempo, adjusting the rate. And that's pretty much it. And so that's the whole process in Reaper. So once when you're done with that, let's say we're all done. Don't forget to save. It's always important. But you go to render. And then type file name, let's call it drums, add a Z because we are hip. Output format, you can D-Wave, but that tends to take up a lot of bytes, so we're just going to do MP3. And then if you do an audio file, you'll just have to put it into a video editing file afterwards and line the music up with the Drumline video. And it's important that you keep the Drumline tempo the same, because when you do mix it with the video, it's going to, if it's not the same, it's going to get off, and it's not going to be very easy to fix. So just make sure the tempo of the Drumline is the same as the tempo of the video. But if you want to just download the video from here, you could do video or FFmpeg, hit that bad boy. And the way to get that is if you go and look up tutorials on how to get videos playback for Reaper, it's like an add-on for Reaper that you can get for free, and so you can check out that tutorial on YouTube. So that's what I'm going to do. So you just render that file. I'm not going to click it because it's not done yet. I'll have the final product at the end of this video though, just so you can hear what it sounds like. And then what you're going to want to do from there, let's see. You can, so for video editing software, on my computer I use Premiere Pro, but that can be pricey because you have to pay a monthly fee of like $30. So I recommend downloading Filmora. It's a $50 one-time payment video editing software. It can't do as much as other video editing software, but definitely does enough to basically make a video, put audio tracks to it, has some cool effects. Just kind of the typical default stuff that you would do for video editing. Cool, so that's just about all I got for this tutorial. If you liked it, you'd like me to make some more tutorials that are similar to this, I definitely have other things I can talk about, maybe like mixing songs together, blah blah blah. But yeah, just let me know and I will see what I can do. Alright, thank you for listening, and then we're gonna have the video up right now.